We have finally started to get some really nice weather around here, which means our grasses are starting to take off. The biggest problem is a lot of those grasses are in our garden. We have yet to get the cows out on pasture yet because their grass isn't long enough, but the grass in the garden is long enough that we don't want it anymore. This is a struggle we've had for the entire time we've had this garden, is this grass. Last year, we put tarps on a small section of it and it did a really good job. So we're doing that again this year, the entire garden, covering it in tarps for at least the next 2 weeks until we can kill some of this grass off and get to planting. It's not warm enough out here yet. I mean, it is warm enough, but our nights are still get cold enough that we're not ready to plant anything. Our chances of frost are pretty high still, and so we won't be planting at least for 2 weeks, which means we're covering this garden to wipe out the grass.
I'll wait to see. Oh, I hope this feeling lasts till the oceans turn to glass and the world around us turns and fades to black. Together we'll hold back the sun in this moment forever young against the stream of time we'll run, baby. We'll hold back the sun. When the sun goes down and the world spins round and I lay right next to you, I can't close my eyes even though I try. These perfect moments of you, I fall asleep sitting embrace in the morning, awake to that perfect side of you. Together we'll hold back the sun in this moment forever.
Well, we got it all done. It is not necessarily pretty. A lot of these tarps, it's just old silage tarps. We didn't buy them, we just took them off of our neighbor's dairy that they use them for their silage. So a lot of them have holes in them. They're just little strips, some of them. So it took a lot of scraps to fill everything up, but it's all covered, mostly. There's a lot of holes. So when we do go to plant, there will be some weeding, try to get the grasses out in some of those areas, but hopefully it's not as bad as it has been. We've had days where we come out here for a couple hours to plant, and we don't even have time to get everything planted because we spend all of our time pulling grass out. We're hoping that this will speed things up if we plant, and that down the road, if we continue to do this, this garden will become weed-free, or grass-free at least. It's not ever gonna be completely weed-free, but if we can get the grasses out of here, that will save us tons and tons of time of weeding, because that grass grows up so thick that it's just way harder to weed than just natural weeds, normal weeds. So that, and as we pull this off, we're gonna add more wood chips to it. They've broken down quite a bit over the last couple years, so we're gonna need some more wood chips. We're quickly losing daylight, but I've got one more project I gotta do tonight. You can see behind me, this is where this corral that we've been keeping these cows in over the winter. They've got 2 years worth of manure in here. We did not get it cleaned out last year at all. So it is deep, like it's embarrassing how dirty it is in there. So deep that our water trough got completely buried in it over the winter. So we had to do kind of a temporary water trough that's got a hole in it. So I'm gonna get this water trough cleaned out, the old one, because it doesn't leak like the new one does. So that's our next project. Gonna do it right now, should not take me long, hopefully.
You and me, let's get together now, you'll see just how this life is supposed to be. Come on. Oh.
I got the majority of the slime out of there, but it's still kind of poopy in that water. So the plan is we're gonna let it run clear, and then once that water's running all clear, I'm gonna drain the whole thing, let it sit in the sun for a couple days, and hopefully just bake any nasty stuff out of there, and then we should be able to fill it up and it'll just be fine. Should be mostly sanitary at that point once the sun's hit it for a couple days. So that's the plan. We'll get it all cleaned out that way, and within the next week, most of these cows should be out of here. We got them going to pasture soon. we're gonna keep 2 of them here. We got Caleb's show cow and that bull that we bought, Dozer. So Bruce and Dozer are gonna stick around through the summer. We're gonna train Dozer to be a nice bull, and we're gonna train Caleb's steer to be a show steer. So that's the plan with them. So, but most of everybody else will be out, and then we can get this corral all cleaned up, get a tractor in here and get it all scraped out. So we'll pile all that up, make some compost out of it. Be good for the garden.